Hey there, Dimitri here, and this is my new keyboard Keychron Q1 HE unboxing and modding. I have been using 10 bucks keyboards the majority of my life and got my first mechanical keyboard in 2019. Not really for any credible reason. I told myself it would make me better at Dota, but I mean, it's just a keyboard. Usually it should not have that much of an impact on your gameplay. In reality, I just saw the fancy RGB and TKL design of the Logitech G Pro and really kind of wanted to try it. I actually bought 3 keyboards in the space of like 3 months. I got the G Pro with linear switches that I didn't like. I mean, I didn't like the sound in general and it was extremely loud, so I actually gifted it to my then girlfriend. I got then the G Pro X, and at least for G Pro X I had somewhat of a valid reason because they had replaceable switches, I mean hot swappable switches. At that time I didn't really do my research thoroughly. Maybe I would have gotten a custom keyboard back then because I mean hot swappable switches sounds like the best feature to me. And then I also got the G915 Lightspeed wireless with tactile switches. I cannot say that those keyboards did anything to my skill level. I've been stuck at 5.3k MMR in Dota for years. My shooter skills are, I don't know, a little bit above average and don't really improve with the keyboard anyway, but it's definitely made the gaming more enjoyable. Another thing that those keyboards definitely made more enjoyable is typing, because I'm a software engineer by profession and I type a lot. But in retrospect, I must say that honestly, those keyboards do not sound that good. Okay, maybe the G915 sounds good, but the G Pro and G Pro X, they sound very clacky, and honestly if anybody lives in the same house with you, it's extremely annoying. So 5 years have passed. I'm not playing as much, if at all, but I managed to break my clavicle while riding my mountain bike, and I got a month of nothing to do. So being bored, I pretty much decided to get back into Dota and Call of Duty, and that led me to idly browse some gaming peripherals to see what's new. Lo and behold, Logitech has a new G Pro X 60% wireless. It looked extremely cool, but the price tag looked honestly repellent. I mean, it's a 60% keyboard. I wouldn't buy something like that anyway, just because I need those keys for my day-to-day job. But it's also like right now 170 euros for a plastic keyboard that's going to be pretty much the same as what I had before. So I went down the rabbit hole of researching what else is there on the market, and of course straight away found the Wooting 60 HE, and then proceeded to read up and watch videos on custom keyboards. Checked out Tech YouTube channel, shout out to that guy, and that took me all the way down to keyboard mods, switch lubing, taping, and what else have you. So all in all, boredom got me to buy a new keyboard. And of course, I straight up wanted a Hall effect keyboard because unlike other stuff, this feature looks like something that I would actually benefit from in game. Probably not all the games I play, but Call of Duty for sure. Looking at the options, there was not that much on the market. There was the Book 75, there was the Wooting 60 HE, which was sold out and available in July. There was the upcoming Wooting 80 HE that was going to be available in August. There were some offerings from SteelSeries already, from Akko, from Monsky, but all in all, the Keychron Q1 HE seemed like the perfect package for me. It has full aluminum body, magnetic switches, they are pre-lubed, they are hot swappable, It offers QMK VIA support out of the box. It has layers support, so I can switch between two systems easily. And although I do not have a Mac, I do use two different systems for work and for gaming. I have Linux, I have Windows. And of course the fact that I can set up my keyboard from browser really makes it a big selling point for me. Because all the G-Hub and whatever Razer Synapse and other bloatware from gaming companies does not support Linux, and although it's not a big problem, it still is some hassle. So for 219 euros, I honestly think it's extremely competitively priced compared to the other Hall effect keyboards on the market, and it was in stock, which for me was probably the biggest selling point. And the delivery didn't cost an arm and a leg as well. So I went ahead and ordered it. So right out of the box you get a very good product. It sounded good, it sounded amazing, way better than anything else I had, as we will see in the end of the video. I wanted to change the keycaps for sure, just because I started learning Japanese and I wanted to have the hiragana on my keycap. And they do sound alright, as we will see in the end of the video, but not as good as the stock keycaps in my opinion. The only thing that I didn't like on the stock keycaps is the spacebar. It honestly sounded really hollow. To be fair though, the keycap from the Apple Maker set that I bought from Amazon sounded even worse. It required some taping inside to make it sound better. I could have left the stock spacebar on, but the profile of the keycaps that I bought is different, so I did replace that as well. After that, being influenced by Hipio Tech, I decided to do the tape mod, and if I'm being honest, it's completely unneeded. When I opened the keyboard and saw the layers of foam and sound mat and some other stuff, it just was kind of clear to me that the tape will not improve anything, because I mean honestly this keyboard is already packed full of soundproofing material and it already sounded great right out of the box. But for extra points I decided to do it anyway. It cannot make it worse, can it? So I went ahead and made the tape mode. Another thing though that I found a little bit more credible and useful is the force break mode, as Hipiotech called it. That's when you tape any contact points of metal on metal, which is why it's called force break, because it breaks the force basically between two pieces of metal and dampens it. This I think does have impact because there are quite a few places where there is metal contact in this keyboard. Overall I spent around an hour on this, and by the end I think the result is good. Again, I honestly think you don't need to do any modification to this keyboard. It comes as a complete package with everything you would want. There are some tweaks that I did in the software. Activated the rapid trigger, did some modifications to the key map because there are some keys that I miss that I require for my work, and there are some keys that I don't really use at all, so I remapped them. Consider adding some keyboard macros, but honestly on my Linux system I have all my keybinds and everything already set up, so I don't really need any keyboard macros. And on Windows machine as well I have all my keybinds set up, so no keyboard macros required. Overall, just from having this keyboard for a week, I must say it's amazing. If you are like me and you are full-time working behind your computer and you are gaming sometimes, this is the keyboard in my humble opinion. There are probably very similar keyboards out there, so just do your research, but I would recommend this for sure. Now, if you are looking for a gaming keyboard, I would honestly say why look for specifically gaming keyboard? Just get yourself any Hall effect keyboard. This is gaming enough for you. And as a last thing, let's mention some disadvantages. First one would be the weight. This keyboard weighs almost 2 kilograms. And I mean, for me, it's actually cool and good, but not everybody would like to have a small portable keyboard that weighs 2 kilograms. The software is not as fancy, and if you are flashing new firmware, all your keybinds are going to vanish. And lastly, disassembling it is a little bit hard, as in opening it up is easy, but disconnecting the battery is freaking impossible. Other than that, the keyboard is amazing. Honestly, 10 out of 10 would recommend any time of day. And now let's hear how does it actually sound after all of the modifications that I made.